In this section of this video, we are going to make a pointer to be out of an array. In the last session, we made an array, separately, and then we now use pointer to save each address and also the value. But right now, we are going to make a pointer itself an array. So this is how to do that. First of all, we have to declare an array, and our array variable is going to be of var. The size of it is going to be 4. Then we can now initialize it. Let's give it 10, 20, 30, 40 elements. So having done this, the next one that we are going to do is to declare our counter, which I will use I can also declare a pointer along with this, just like this. It will be valid, but I'm not going to do that for simplicity's sake. So let me come here, declare our pointer to be of variable p. So after that, I will give our pointer the value of 4, the size of 4. So our pointer, it's being declared like this, is an array of pointers. So the size of this array is going to be 4 because we are giving 4 to this element. So we don't want to go more than 4 for memory management. So after doing this, the next thing we have to do is for us to actually loop through this of each of these and then assign it to our pointer respectively. Our pointer is 4 as well as our elements. So each of this space, each of this size will be assigned to each one of these values here. So let us go and do, let's proceed. Now we use for loop to loop through this array. So the int I is going to be 0. So now I is less than 4, which is true. I is less than 4. Then I should be plus each time it loops. Then we now say this p, which is our pointer, equal to the address of our variable of each of these, the address of each of these values or elements. So here we put our I. So what you are doing here right now is you are assigning each of these. I is supposed to be here. What you are doing here now is this variable var that has array data type, you are assigning the address of each of these elements to the pointer. So the pointer will have the address of the first index, the second, third, and fourth index. So this is what this here is actually doing. Now when we have given it, assigned all these addresses to it, it's now time for us to actually print these addresses. Now we can also do our for loop here. I equals to 0 and I is less than 4. Then I should be plus. Then we now say print f value of var. Then inside the brackets, this square brackets, we now put this. is equal to G. Then we now give it a new line. Okay, so after the new line, we now bring our I, which it will start from 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so then we now print the value of each of the I that we assign to this pointer here. So when we have done that, and that is how our code, we have done what we should do. So here we assigned these elements, each of these elements, each position of these elements, the address to our pointer. Our pointer is of an array type. Okay, so it will have from 0 to 3. Okay, so here is from 0 to 3. So each of it will have its addresses. Then we loop through these addresses that we assigned here, which is this here. We will loop through it and print it out. So let us go and do it. So you can see the value of var1, var0, which is this first 10, which is this first element. Index 0 is 10, index 1 is 20, index 2 is 30, index 3 is 40. So this is how you actually use an array or a pointer array, okay, to save or to get the address and also the value of all of these array elements here. We can also print each of these addresses. Right now we are printing each of the values, but we don't want each of the values in the second print. We want addresses. We want each of the addresses to be printed out. So addresses of this. Okay, so let's run this. Let's see how it will look like. Okay, now value of var0 is 10 and the address of it is this. Now the value of var1 is 20 and the address is this. You can see the address differs. Okay, each of these has its own separate addresses. So that is to say that when this was looping, it was actually assigning the values and also the addresses to the pointer. So as it is assigning the addresses and values, that means they have different addresses in memory. Okay, so you can check it out with this. The value of x, the value of var0 is 10 and the address in which it occupies in memory is this. Same as 20, the address is this. Same as 40, 30, same, different memory address, 40 memory address. So this is working with a 32-bit architecture. So this is how to use a pointer as an array. Okay, so this is how to do that array of pointers. If there is any questions that you need to ask, just drop it at the comment box. I'll be very happy to answer your questions. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe, share and like.